All right, let's talk about some movies. 2024 just started, so let's talk about some of the movies that are coming out this year. I'm worried. I have 10 films that are my most anticipated. So it goes from movies that I'm like pretty excited about to films that I'm like the most excited about. So that's the scale. Then I have a list of 5 films that are like my least anticipated, films that I'm more than likely just not even going to attempt to see unless I feel like I have to, honestly. So there's a total of 15 films we're gonna be ranking today. My least favorite is not in any particular order. I think I'm pretty much equally uninterested in them. So clocking in at number 10, we've got Argylle. Argylle is one of those films that honestly, like, I'm really excited about because it's interesting to me. I feels the marketing campaign on this is very mysterious. Like, the trailer did tell you the story, but there's like this weird thing with the cat, and I'm not really sure exactly what it is. It looks really interesting to me though. Comes out in February 2nd, directed by Matthew Vaughn. He does the Kingsman movies, so it's gonna give me everything that I want in terms of those highly visual films. You know, I think, did he do Kick-Ass as well? He did Kick-Ass as well. So yeah, definitely like this guy's style. Next is going to be Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. For those of you who know me, the fact that I have Robert Eggers on here in my like most anticipated films of 2024 is probably very surprising to you. I'm not like, I want to choose my words wisely here. I have nothing against Robert Eggers. I think he's a visionary. I think that he is insanely talented. I think that his films are innovative in his own way, but that particular way that he makes films personally does not resonate with me. Don't get me wrong, I love a slow burn, but a slow burn still has to burn. And I don't ever feel that burn, it just feels slow. There's just something about Robert Eggers' style that doesn't sit well with me, generally speaking. And that's okay, we all have our own opinions of film. However, I love Nosferatu. And because of the way the original film is made, to me is really interesting in relation to Robert Eggers' style. If there's any movie that is going to have him win me over, it's gonna be this one. I think that he's going to do a fantastic job. Moving on, so there's this movie that is called, I think it's gonna be a Netflix original. It's gonna be called Horizon: An American Saga. It's directed by Kevin Costner. Oh, I didn't know that. He stars in it too, doesn't he? So just like a quick little log line here, families, friends, and foes discover the allure of the Old West as the Civil War divides the country. And that's right up my alley. I love studying the Civil War, and I'm a huge, huge Wild West fan. I grew up in Oklahoma. It's a big part of my own personal culture and the way that I live my life. So I am really, really excited for this. Next one up is Civil War. Now, we talked about Civil War of the past, now we're talking about Civil War of the future. From the writer of 28 Days Later, Ex Machina, and Annihilation, all films I love, by the way. A huge Alex Garland fan. In the near future, a team of journalists travel across the United States during a rapidly escalating civil war. Like I said, you know, Horizon is going to be about the Civil War that we experience, but this one is about a hypothetical Civil War in the near future. So that's really interesting. Super excited about that one. Also, I think Kirsten Dunst is going to be in it. Yes. Now the next one is going to be The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is the next story in the Planet of the Apes prequel series that I love. It's one of my favorite prequel series of all time. Many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. Now this is kind of like almost like an interim, like an in-between. We've had the prequel, we've had the mainline series, and this is kind of like right there in the middle. And that could be really interesting. I'm super excited to see that as well. All right, next. Twisters. Yes, Twisters is on this list. So yeah, it's, you know, for those of you who don't know, again, I just said this a few minutes ago, I'm from Oklahoma. A lot of the film Twister is set in areas that is like right around my hometown. So I'm excited for this. Just because of nostalgia, I'm really curious as to how it's going to... I love tornadoes, I love weather, and I love the original film, so I'm excited to see, you know, who's in it even. Nobody I know, except David Cornsweet. All right, next up is Venom 3. I loved the first two. I used to read the Venom comic books growing up. I know that Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, was directed by Andy Serkis, so that was kind of a big selling point for me to see that one, and I thought he did a great job. But we have a different director this time, Kelly Marcel. And this is slated for November 8th, 2024 so far as of this video, so we'll see. So now we are in my top 3 most anticipated films of this year. Are we ready for it? Now, clocking in at top 3, we've got Deadpool 3, the introduction for Deadpool into the MCU, and then also kind of using that as a way to kind of like bring in the X-Men, and we're gonna see this kind of multiverse. I think this is possibly the coolest aspect that we're gonna get, other than Loki, when it comes to how the multiverse is handled in the MCU. I have a really strong feeling that this is going to be kind of like really what the multiverse should have been. And even though I'm a huge fan of Multiverse of Madness because I love Sam Raimi, they didn't really take it far enough in terms of the implications that it has on the entire MCU. And I think this one will. So we'll see. I'm really excited about it. I cannot stress that enough. My second most anticipated film of 2024 is Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. And that should come as no surprise. I saved my 2 biggest fandoms for the top 2. I love the MonsterVerse films. It is becoming the American Showa era, because they keep on getting more and more cheesy and more ridiculous, and this is just the next level of that. I'm so excited for this. Because, you know, right now Toho is giving us the more serious Godzilla films, and the American audience is giving us the more ridiculous Showa era craziness, ridiculousness, and I'm excited that we get both of those things. It is an amazing time to be a Godzilla fan right now, and I couldn't be more excited. Adam Wingard, again, directing this one after he directed Godzilla vs. Kong. All right, let's move on to my number 1 most anticipated film of this year. And you could probably guess it, because I talked about my, 2 of my favorite franchises are making movies this year, so obviously this is my number 1 favorite franchise of all time. You know it? Do you know me yet at all? Okay, here we go. It is Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus is my number 1 anticipated film of this year, slated for August 14th, 2024, as of the filming of this video, directed by Fede Alvarez. So many reasons to be excited for this film, all right? I have full trust in Fede Alvarez after how he handled another one of my favorite franchises with his 2013 remake of The Evil Dead. When he made Evil Dead, like, I was shocked at how good it was, and I think a lot of people were. But he handled it so well. And I think that he's a great filmmaker. And if anyone can take on this project, it's him. And I'm really excited to see what comes out of it. Oh, Alien. My God, it's like, if you could only see my house, I have so much alien shit everywhere. All we know about it right now, we don't know much, but it says Alien Romulus is an upcoming American science fiction horror film and standalone installment in the Alien franchise set between the events of Alien and Aliens, which was confirmed like maybe like a month or 2 ago, which I had been fucking calling it for months. Years even. Like, when I found out this movie was being made, I said this and people didn't believe me. They're like, no. Sorry, dopamine overload. All right, we're good. So as we know, it's supposed to be set between Alien and Aliens. I called it. Now, let's get to the fun part. I'm going to talk about 5 films that I have no interest in seeing. There's only 5 of them, and they're not in any particular order. So let's just go down the list. We've got Snow White, directed by Mark Webb, starring Rachel Zegler. I have absolutely no interest in seeing this ridiculous Disney piece of crap. Next, all right, so the next one is The Crow. And okay, here's the thing about trying to remake cult classics. This is a problem that, and we talk about how Hollywood loves to remake things and they're running out of ideas. Some of these films that I have absolutely no interest in watching are either remake, almost all of them. Every single one of them is some kind of previously established IP. Imagine that. The thing about The Crow is that the movie itself is a cult classic, and cult classics are usually not like the greatest films to either remake or create sequels to. You'll get like a diamond in the rough every once in a while, but most of the time, when you're trying to remake or create a sequel to a cult classic, it's more than likely that you're gonna end up with an S. Darko. Like, I don't know, like, what's the point of making this movie? Who made it? Rupert Sanders, okay, the guy who made Ghost in the Shell, another previously established IP. He made Snow White and the Huntsman, okay, another previously established IP. For all we know, it could end up being really good. Who knows? But as of right now, I'm looking at this with a really critical eye. Next one is Mean Girls. Who asked for this? Please, in the comments, if you asked for this, if you wanted this to be made, I would love to hear why. I'm really curious because people who are criticizing the production of this particular film say,
"This isn't a remake of the movie though. This is a film adaptation of the theatrical production from Broadway."
Okay, well that's a whole problem in of itself. Where's the original ideas, Broadway? Why aren't you coming up with your own ideas instead of just remaking films and turning them into musicals? So that way when you no one seems to be criticizing that. And that makes no sense to me. Legally Blonde, the musical, didn't have to happen. Spider-Man, the musical, actually that one's really good. I mean, there's nothing quite like watching the Green Goblin play the piano. There's no reason that Mean Girls had to be made into a Broadway play to begin with, and now we're getting like kind of an adaptation of that, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm looking at the cast too, and like literally, I'm feisty today, y'all. I'm I'm in a mood. All right, next we've got A Quiet Place Day 1. I really struggled on whether or not I wanted to put this on the list, but I did, and here's why. We already got that. We already got Day 1 from the first act of Quiet Place 2, which was brilliantly executed, right? And and I get that this is probably coming from other people's perspectives, but does it really need to be made? Do we really need to see that? I don't really see the point. And it's also not made by John Krasinski. I think I will see this one just because I'm on the fence with this one. This is just my preliminary opinion, not based on anything else other than the concept. I don't know. I don't think there's a trailer out or anything yet. This one is probably, I didn't even know this existed until I did research on films today. Disney's Mufasa, the Lion King movie. Why are we doing another one of these? Told in flashbacks, Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa tell the story of Mufasa to a young lion cub. So I guess it's supposed to be kind of like a prequel about Mufasa's legacy told through flashbacks, which it's not the worst story idea, but why? Where are the original ideas? I feel like even a lot of the movies that I was looking forward to this year, some of the most anticipated movies for 2024 for me, even those, a lot of them are previously established IPs, like Godzilla, Alien. 2024 does not seem like a year for original ideas in film. So if you're like me and you want to see an original idea in film that was created completely from scratch, then go see Culturegeist in March. Culturegeist is my baby. I birthed it from my brain, and it will be on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube premiere set for March 15th, 2024 at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'm just really excited for you to see it. It is a very unique concept, and I worked really, really hard on it. So see you in the next video. Peace out.